What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So will Republicans be able to defend their majority in the House? We're going to talk a little bit about that in this video. And this is week two of the AI model that I created to see if we can predict the 2026 midterm election. This is an experiment, but I think this is a good one. And I'm going to show you all of the information in this video. And I have a surprise for you at the end. The numbers have changed. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. If you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so before we get started, I want to show you the district map. Okay, so this is the House of Representative district map. Right now, Democrats, and this is the current map. So right now, Democrats have 215. Republicans have 220. You need 218 in order to have the majority. Okay, so right now, Republicans are over that 218. So that's why they have the majority. That's why you have Mike Johnson as the speaker. And so I'm just showing you this because I want you to see where the target is. So Democrats right now, they need to net 3 seats in order to take the majority in 2026. And so now let's go ahead and take a look at the new information that we have. Now, I had some people in the last video that I posted. So I posted a video a week ago. That was week 1. If you guys want to check that out, I'll have a link at the end of this video so you can check that video out. That way you can see the differences. But I had a lot of people in that video ask me, where are you getting your information from? I thought I did a pretty good job of explaining where I was getting the information from, but I think I'm going to use this template in the future where I show you exactly where the information is coming from. All you need to do if you want to get that information is go to the website and that information will be there. And so I'll show you this first, and then we'll go to the AI model with the formulas, and then we'll look at the final result. Okay, so looking at the generic ballot, we have the generic ballot here, Real Clear Politics. That's where I'm getting this information from. So if you go over to Real Clear Politics, you're going to find out what the generic ballot is. And right now, it's Democrats plus 2.6. So Democrats now lead Republicans by 2.6 points nationally. And so there should be no question where this information is coming from. It's coming from Real Clear Politics. Okay, now, and this is going to change. Real Clear Politics, it changes because what they do is they average all the polls. So as those polls come in, the numbers change. So that generic ballot just last week, it was like 1.6. Now it's at 2.6 because you had some other pollsters put out their polls and it made the change on Real Clear Politics. Okay, so presidential job approval, we're getting this from Ballotpedia. It's currently at 43%. It was at 43% last time, -7 versus 50. And so in the formula, that's how they calculate this. So they're taking that -7. So it says GOP president remains below 50% approval. Now, if a president gets to 50% or above 50% approval, that favors the president's party. Now, if they're below 45%, it favors the opposition party, so the party that's not in power. So right now we're at 43%, so that will favor Democrats. GDP is coming from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, okay? So that's where I'm getting this information. Right now, it's at 3.8%, and that number could change on October 30th because that's when we'll get the new information coming in from the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Okay, so right now, it's a positive economic signal, this 3.8%, so this favors Republicans. Now let's move forward. CPI. Current CPI is coming from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, okay? So current CPI right now is 2.9%. I realize tomorrow, that is going to change because we're going to have new numbers. I say it's going to change. It might not change. It could stay at 2.9%. The anticipation is it's going to be a little bit higher. So it could be 3% or 3.1%. Okay, now I'm taking CPI, the inflation. I'm taking all inflation. I'm not doing just core. Core inflation right now is at 3.1%. But we're doing all inflation because I want to include energy and I want to include food. Because when it comes to consumers, we're out buying groceries and things like that. So we know if things are more expensive, and we base that on the cost of food, and we go to the grocery store, we base it on that. So that has an impact on how people perceive the economy and how people perceive how the president is currently doing. So that's why I wanted to do all inflation, all CPI. All right, unemployment. This is also coming from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And right now they're saying this is near neutral labor market conditions. Okay, so it's not too bad, it's not too good. Okay, so basically is what they're saying. Okay, now we're looking at special elections. Now, where are we getting this? Decision Desk HQ and Ballotpedia. Right now, Democrats are favored +3, and that is because Democrats are outperforming Republicans in these special elections, okay? That's the reason why it's +3. Now let's look at seats at risk. Now, before I even talk about this, seats at risk, you have to understand this will address some of the redistricting questions, because I've had some people ask me about, what about redistricting? How is that going to impact the 2026 midterms? And so this will address some of that because it's talking about the seats that are at risk. We're getting this information from Cook's Political Report, Inside Elections, and Sabato's Crystal Ball. Right now, it favors Republicans. It says -3 for Democrats, which means that Democrats have 3 more seats than Republicans that are at risk, okay? So if we're looking at, I think if I remember the numbers correctly, it was Democrats had 12 seats that are at risk, and Republicans had 9 seats that are at risk. So you have that 3-seat difference, and so Democrats have more seats at risk, and so that's why this favors Republicans. Okay, and I just want to show you one more thing here. This is Real Clear Politics, and so I just wanted to show you the generic ballot, the numbers here. So you have Democrats at +2.6, and so Republicans are at 43.3, and Democrats are at 45.9. Now, if we look at some of the individual polls, and the main reason I wanted to do this is I just wanted to show you some of the pollsters out there and what they're showing. So the Economist YouGov poll, this was conducted between 1017 and 1020. You had 1,448 registered voters, Democrats at 45, Republicans at 40. The spread there was +5. Now looking at Morning Consult, this was conducted between 1017 and 1019. 2,200 registered voters, and it shows Democrats at 46, Republicans at 43, Democrats +3. When we're looking at Quinnipiac, that was conducted between 1016 and 1020, 1,327 registered voters. You had Democrats at 50, Republicans at 41, Democrats at +9. And so I just wanted to show you the top few here, but you see you have a lot of blue here. We did see it at 1.6, and when we saw it at 1.6, the average at 1.6, we had a few pollsters showing +1, +1, +3, and then we had a +1 for Republicans here. And so that +1 for Republicans, that was Qantas Insight, and then we also have RMG Research, and they also show a +1 for Republicans. But all the other pollsters are showing favorability for Democrats. And if you're looking at the latest trends here, you have a +9, you have a +3, a +5. So we're starting to see these numbers increase higher. This +9 is what's really pushing Democrats over to get to that 2.6, this Quinnipiac poll. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Okay, so now we're going to get to the AI model. This is the forecast here. So let me show you that. So looking at the forecast, we have, and we went over this, so we'll go over it really briefly, but I just want to show you. So the generic ballot here is showing Democrats +2.6. Here's the math. So there's the formula there. And at the very bottom, I'll show you how many seats have increased or how many seats have decreased. Okay, presidential job approval. We saw that 43%, so that's -7. Here's the math here. That's the formula. Economics, so the macro index, we saw GDP at 3.8%. We see CPI at 2.9% and unemployment at 4.3%. Here is the calculation. And then we have special elections +3. Here's the calculation there. We have seats at risk -3. Here's the calculation there. And now let's get down to, and this is the whole formula here. And what we want to look at is the increase. So right now we see +1.86. So that's increased. And if we're looking at the model here, it's saying for every 1 point, that's 10 seats. So we have 1.86. So we almost have 2 points. So Democrats now have increased to +19. And so what this is saying right now, if we had an election today, Democrats would gain 19 seats. Now, how many seats do they need? They need 3 seats. So 19 is a lot more than 3. So that would mean that Democrats would have the majority. Now, I know what you're saying. What about all this redistricting that's going on right now? I did a video and I asked AI, and I asked which political party would it favor and how many seats would they be able to gain. And AI said that it would favor the Republicans, and the Republicans would gain about 5 seats. So if we look at 19, we have +19 here, and this is coming from the model overall. And I wanted to separate this from what's going on with redistricting, because as you put them together, it's really going to confuse a lot of things. The only thing that we have here is the seats at risk in this model, but we have that separate redistricting model. If you want to check that video, I'll have a link at the end of this video so you can check that out. and that is showing +5 for Republicans. So even if you have +5 for Republicans there, and then you know that Democrats need to net 3 seats, which means that there will be behind 8 seats, if you want to look at it that way. If they can gain 19 seats, then they will still have the majority with plenty of room. And so this right now, this is good news for Democrats. Now we'll have to see what changes. We're going to have the GDP numbers coming out very soon, and we'll have some more numbers, and this is going to constantly shift. But I want to do this early so we can show a pattern of how things are going. Are they favoring Democrats? Are they favoring Republicans? So that's why we're doing this now. So every week we'll be back. So make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell notification, because we're going to talk about this every week. Because with all the stuff that's going on right now, how is this impacting people's minds when it comes to the 2026 midterm election? So I want to know what you guys think about the model. You think 19 seats? You think that's about right? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.